Anticipation, yo!
It's time for some anticipation. What are we anticipating?
The game Anticipation!
I know. What are we anticipating?
The game Anticipation!
But the game anticipation for what? What game?
I see where this is going, and I don't like it. Know this first base, second base bullshit. Who's on first? What is that thing?
Who is on first?
Don't even start with
What's
me.
on second? I don't know who's on third. So now, what game anticipation are we waiting for? Like,
the game Anticipation. So there you go.
It's killing me right now.
I know.
I'm done.
Thank
okay,
you.
Fine. Yeah, we're going to talk about anticipation, which that little opening skit that we did is probably going to be more fun than the review.
And that's not saying a lot.
No, that's really not saying a lot at all.
Buckle up for a shitty one. Anticipation, man. Fuck. I mean, who made this? Do you remember?
I believe it was...
Oh my god, you don't even know.
I believe it was High Tech Expressions? No, it was Rare. Rare developed it.
Anticipation.
Rare, it was developed by Rare. I guarantee you.
Anticipation. It's released by Rare. You're right, 1988, motherfucker.
1988.
There you go, holy crap. So, the game, if anybody doesn't know what this game is, it's kind of like you go around a board, you have to get different colors to advance to the next level before your opponents. And in each thing that draws a picture, you have to guess what it is.
So, okay. So let me explain it a little bit better than Andy did.
Like a shitty Pictionary.
So it's basically it has a game board similar to
Trivial Pursuit.
Trivial Pursuit. Thank you. Similar to Trivial Pursuit, where you have to get certain like colors around the board, and each puzzle, instead of getting a trivia question, you get a picture that is drawn in line by line, and you have to determine what it is before your opponent does.
It's terrible.
So it's kind of like Trivial Pursuit meets Pictionary, and yet it's neither of those at all.
I remember it being annoying as hell when it wouldn't finish the picture before time. Or am I thinking win, lose, or draw?
No. It's you're correct. There were some puzzles or some lines that were so they had so many lines and so detailed that it wouldn't actually finish what it was before the timer ran out.
And it doesn't tell you what it was.
No, and it doesn't tell you what it was because it recycles its images, so that I guess in a sense I don't mind them not telling you what it is, because then if you didn't get it the first time, you're obviously not going to get it the next time. So,
agreed.
So it still kind of keeps it kind of fresh and new in that sense.
And didn't it draw it in a different order sometimes? Like draw the lines in different orders? I feel like we had a repeat of one of them, but it drew the lines differently.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I think it did. It did, at least with the different difficulty settings. There's 3 different difficulty settings. Sometimes it'll give you dots, and so it'll like connect the dots as it's drawing. The more or the higher you go with the difficulty, the less you'll have. So there won't even be dots. It'll just be random lines, just kind of scribbling in the puzzle.
Well, I recall the very easiest difficulty gave you the dots, and it gave you the amount of letters in the word.
It did, yeah.
The medium difficulty gave you the dots, but not the letters.
Not the letters.
And the hardest difficulty gave you nothing.
Yep.
And I remember each board progressively got harder.
Yes.
So if you started on the easiest one, it gave you everything. The next board up gave you just the dots, and then so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. We had a miserable time with this game.
Yes, we did, and I take responsibility for like half of it.
I made it abundantly clear. I hated this game. I think in the first episode, every 5 minutes I said this game sucks.
Yeah. I'm
not happy about it because I really look like a whiny bitch in this game. Not my proudest moment.
No, but it's just it. Yeah, I don't think either of us really just cared for it.
No.
But okay, so getting into it. So what would you give the difficulty?
I mean, really, the difficulty's based on what you set it at. So I know we were talking about this before we started recording, but it's not applicable. Really, it's how hard you make it.
Motherfucker. I said not applicable, and you're like, I don't know, it's got difficulty. No. It's got a difficulty.
What is that?
That's your Jack Nicholson. There you go. It's got a difficulty.
It's got a difficulty in the pale moonlight.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So
but
you asshole.
It's either a 1, 2, or a 3, because I think
honestly,
that's what the difficulty
so the difficulty, I mean, because you can play this game 2-player, so you can play it against a friend, or you can just play it against the computer. At that point, I mean, if you play it at the easiest difficulty, of course, it's going to be doable. Medium, you'll have a more difficult time, and then difficulty 3, you'll have an even more difficult time.
Yeah.
But I think that with trivia games like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, we couldn't give them difficulties, and I really don't feel like we could give Anticipation a difficulty. Yeah. I don't think that really has a solid difficulty. Like, it's not a linear game that merits that.
It's guessing.
It really is.
And the only real hard part of this game was just trying to get the spaces, like the colors you needed. Mm-hmm. Because the amount of spaces the thing moved was based on the time left.
Yeah.
So if you needed the next space over, like let's say you needed blue.
Yeah.
You had to wait till it was down to 1 second before you answered to make sure you moved one space.
To make sure that because the dice is what's counting down the time, and so whatever that dice is on, when you get the correct answer, then you move that many squares, and so
it was really such a flawed system.
Yeah, either you run into the fact that your opponent's going to get it just to screw you by not having you land on the color you need, or else you're not going to get it in time because somebody else is going to buzz in, like the computer. Or it's just, it was a very difficult system to kind of play by.
It really was.
With the movements. And it made it very frustrating to try to get to the colors that you needed. And I think that they had... Because I think the game, it had multiple levels where you start off on the first level, and then you go to, like, you take the lift to the second level, and then to the third level. Was there a fourth one?
Maybe?
But
I don't
either
think
way,
so.
I think that there was one too many. It just didn't have to be that long.
The game was very long.
It was longer than it needed to be.
I'll give it to it. Most show games are extremely short.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
they're extremely short. So this one got a decent length.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too long.
And I mean,
but it got a decent length.
And I do commend them just because I mean it's a game that tried to do something different.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think that, and especially in 1988, I don't think that you really had too many like game shows, or just TV shows at that point that were doing stuff like this.
Not really.
I mean, you had Pictionary and stuff like that, but nothing quite like this. So I do commend them for trying to do something different. But the execution of it really just kind of fell short, and it got repetitive. It got annoying. It just kind of really it was very lackluster.
I agree. So we'll move on to fun, man. This is gonna be rough.
I mean, fun. Personally, okay. So the fact that they have multiple levels of difficulty, so you can kind of get your feet wet and then get to the really hard stuff. I don't believe there's any music. Was there music?
Not that I recall.
Yeah.
Maybe
there was some music when it was actually drawing. I think when it was drawing there was music, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't. The game was such a blur.
But there's very little music in it. Like I said, it gets repetitive really fast, but I mean, it's something that I could see you having fun, like if you're playing with a friend or you're playing with a group of people. It's like, I could see it like being split into 2 teams and having a good time, but overall, I would say my fun is 3. It would not go higher than a 3. I don't think it's fair to go lower than a 3 either, just because it's unique. It's different from the other games that are out there, but overall, it's just, it's not fun, and there's really not too many reasons to go back to it. So.
It's true. I mean, there were quite a few puzzles. I mean, it had a decent variety of puzzles. We didn't get too many repeats. We got a couple. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, a 3 feels... I was going to say high 2 to a low 3. Yeah. I mean, there were some puzzles we literally guessed. Like, if you remember, and this is the scary part. This is what always scares me about these games.
You had ESP or something like that, or
we
were saying like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if this was the next thing? And literally, the next puzzle was that thing. It scared the crap out of us that Nintendo was listening to us.
The one that I literally guessed it right off the bat before I even drew anything. Oh, stapler, and I guessed stapler, and that's exactly what it was. I was like, oh my fucking god, the thing hears us!
Yeah, it
was
really
very
does.
scary. But, I mean, just the game, come on, man, like,
Or some of the pictures. I mean, they could
They're
only
so obscure.
They could only do what they could. I mean, if you didn't have the 4 letters, like getting the word rake. I mean,
line.
It was a line with a little line and then 4 little like other lines. It was like that's a rake.
Was there was one that was literally just line?
Or, yeah. There
I'm
was
like, what
that
the fuck
one.
is this?
And then the one I think I lost it too, where I had guessed. I think it was like house or home.
Yeah.
And it was barn. I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. And then the next time I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to answer that because I know that it's not home. It's something else. And then the next one ended up being like home. I'm like, okay, forget this. Like
igloo. I mean, just
igloo.
The fact that they were so cubic, like because it was just lines. It wasn't like win, lose, or draw where they could round out things, but it was such a cubic design. Made it hard to figure out what
they did
things
round
were.
certain things, but not many.
Nah.
Not many at all.
It was rough. It
Yeah.
was a rough game to play for us.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know a lot of people enjoy this game. I know for a fact some people do. They said this game was fun for them. They had a great time, but for us,
It's
man,
not- I was gonna say,
we had to trooper.
And that's why I say, yeah, I give it a 3, and I think that it wouldn't be fair to give it less than a 3, just because I think it really is an innovative game, and I think that there is going to be a crowd that really likes this game and that really enjoys it, and it's different from the Jeopardies and the Wheel of Fortunes and all of those other different like game show games that are out there, but yeah, it just wasn't for us.
No. So shit. I mean, this is a short one.
Yeah.
What did we? Difficulty is non-applicable. Fun is about a 3.
Yep.
What did we pay for it?
So for anticipation, I believe I paid. It was either $2.99 or $3.99 for this game. I think it was during the span where I had actually no. I think this was actually a $1.99 game.
Really?
This was a cheap guy. This one I actually found at GameStop when they were still selling Nintendo games.
Oh wow.
Which is ironic because I
They're
talk
back.
about that and now they're back selling Nintendo games. But this
Yeah.
was back in like the 2002, 2003 era where they were still selling retro video
Yeah.
games.
When did like Game Crazies and stuff go out of business? That was still early 2000s, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was
No?
2007.
Ooh, that's right.
I remember
That's right.
January of 2007 is when they started their whole 3 for 10 sale, and that's when I started finding some gems too. But yeah, it was about 6 months after that, or 6 to 8 months after that, that they went out.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, I take that back. That's when they started first trying to get rid of their old stock, because the year that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 came out, I had pre-ordered it from Game Crazy.
Oh my god.
And I remember the game came out, I didn't know how pre-orders work, because I don't think they don't call you to say like, hey, your game's in, like pre-orders in.
Right. That was back when pre-ordering was kind of starting.
Yeah, I thought they did, and so I was so ticked off that they didn't tell me that like the game was out and that my pre-order was there and ready, that I was like, you know what, I'm done with them. And literally it was only a couple months after that they went out of business. So it was around 2009 that Game Crazy actually ended up going out. So.
Wow. Yeah, let's say not from what I can recall, like pre-ordering wasn't really a thing until like 2000s.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if GameStop ever did, or well, back
then.
for us it was Electronics Boutique.
Oh
no,
well, yeah, it was
Software Etc. Before, and FuncoLand,
yeah,
and
there was the whole
yeah.
conglomerate, yeah, Software Etc.
I want to say they didn't do pre-orders back then.
I don't remember them ever doing
I don't
pre-orders.
either. I remember FuncoLand had the paper with the games they had.
Oh yeah.
I think Software Etc. and Electronics Boutique had like a paper of games that were coming out, or you like had to wait for Game Informer or whatever the fuck what were the games back, or yeah, the magazines back then were. I don't really remember.
It was still Game Informer.
Yeah.
It's actually been around for a while now.
But where was I going with this?
I don't know.
I don't know, we got off on a weird tangent. It's anticipation. To be honest, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
This game on price charting goes for $3 and what did I say?
60 cents.
60 cents. $4.
So yeah.
Is it worth it to you? I'll give it to it. $4. All right.
$4 is really not that much.
I'll even say make it round it up to a 5. That's probably about right. I mean, you get a different game for your money. It's not a Wheel of Fortune. It's not a Jeopardy. It's something interesting that's different. And it's a fairly decently long game. So, I mean, all right, I'll give it to it. $5 All right, cool. Moving on. No, not for you?
No.
Oh, my God.
No.
You cheap bastard!
It's just, I would be more selective because it's just, I mean, obviously, got a lot of Nintendo games, so if I was a completist or something like that, 360, of course, it's going to be worth it. So, yeah, you're going to get it.
Of course.
However, though, when I think about all of the different other games, like the different puzzle games or other like fun titles that you can play, like Adventures of Lolo or well, Mendel Palace wasn't really a puzzle game. We haven't gotten to this one yet, but
Castle Quest.
I didn't necessarily mind Castle Quest, but
You didn't like it.
Fire and Ice is actually a really great puzzle game.
Solomon's Key.
Solomon's Key.
Which Fire
Games
Ice
like
was
that.
the
It's
sequel.
when I think about puzzle games and just other games in general, like Legend of Zelda or Guardian Legend or Legacy of the Wizard, I just don't think that this one, if I was a very selective person when it came to video games in my collection, this one probably just would not be in my collection. I wouldn't pay the $3.60 for it. It's just the music is very non-existent, and which was, ironically enough, it was a trademark of Rare because I mean a lot of their earlier titles they really don't have that much music, which is funny because one of the most, in my opinion, one of the greatest composers, video game composers of all time, David Wise, he was Rare's in-house composer for video games, and he did a lot of the early Rare stuff in-house for them.
He did a lot of really good things.
He did a lot of great things, but of course early on maybe he was just kind of getting his feet wet, he was still learning the stuff, but a lot of the early games, like, they're just not good music-wise. Like, there's just not a variety of them. Of the songs, it's really not catchy. It's kind of annoying sound effects. And I just don't think that this game, I don't think that there's enough replayability for me personally to justify it. So I would have to say that it's not worth it, actually.
Duly noted.
Is it duly noted?
Well, there you go, man. Anticipation
Yeah.
in the bank.
Seems like we're
done.
the divide's right here. Is it worth it? No. Is it worth it?
Sure.
Yes. Actually, it's
It's
not even a yes. It's a sure.
Soft yes.
What else are you gonna spend your money on?
If
Booze
there's-
and hookers.
If
More hookers.
More hookers. Maybe some medicine for when you get bit by that cougar.
I'm having a seizure.
So there you go, man. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on Twitter.
Check out PowerTripGaming.tv. It'll take you right to our channel to check out all of our other videos, and links in the description to check out our playthrough of Anticipation. What the fuck are you doing? PowerTripGaming.tv takes you right to the channel. Ooh, yeah. Anticipation. I already said that.
I know.
What are we anticipating?
Don't even. Next time on Power Trip Retrospective.
We'll review something better.
Should almost be impossible not to do.
Hell of a lot better. Dude, that was fucking clever as shit.
What?
The anticipation thing.
That was not clever.
What are you talking about?
That's as clever as...
Spur of the moment. Just
It's-
thought that shit. Thought that shit. Just like, dude, I got this. I got this shit.
That's as clever as it's going to be quite a trip. That's how clever that was.
You know something? You need to shut the fuck up about that. That was clever as shit.
Oh my God.
Because Power Trip Gaming.
I understand.
It's going to be quite a trip.
Oh my fucking God.
I never said it's going to be quite the trip. I always said it's going to be... It'll be quite a trip. It'll be quite a trip. That's what I said.
It'll be quite a trip. You see, you don't even know.
It'll be quite a trip.
That's how catchy it is.
You know
forgettable.
something? You know, before I'm dead,
Mm-hmm.
that shit's gonna be trending.
If it trends ever, I will give you $100.
That would be awesome. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it trend.
You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna make it trend.
I know you will.